what else is important? I do want, you talked about being chivalrous and all of that. That is important to me.
Yes.
And I want him to, I'll take it to the adjacent concern is be aware of how she reacts to that.
Oh.
Like, does she know how to accept that?
Right.
Right. Or has she been so trained to not need anything that anything being done for her either suggests a motive or she just doesn't want it. She rejects it.
Don't know how to receive it. Don't know how to be loved. Don't know how to be cared for.
I think that is a major red flag. And it's not that, again, that she can't grow to know and understand that, but you got to understand what you're dealing with, because that can be frustrating.
Yes.
If my son knows that respect, and he runs into somebody that he's interested in that doesn't value the fact that he respects her,
right,
not even aware of it,
right,
or if it's so weird to her that it's off-putting, no, I don't need you to do that. I don't need you to. Okay. All right, son.
They tried to count me out. I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account. Now I got something to spend.
Let's get to it.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Dead Son Show. We have me. You want to do it?
Don't go.
I thought the third time was going to be the charm. Welcome to the Dead Son Show. We have meaningful conversations about life through the lens of fatherhood. I am one of your hosts, D. Johns.
I'm James.
See that? You just be letting it breathe, man.
I can't give him the same thing every time.
I try to stay on my camera. I didn't even look to see what you was doing, man. I tried to stay on mine. We inside joke. You got to go back and watch a couple episodes. He's working out his thing. His skibbity pop pop, whatever.
Yeah,
you know
my skibbity pass. My skibbity pass.
Skibbity pass. Shout out to Tony Baker. Skibbity pass.
Yeah.
Back to back. It's always, you know what? So when we record, the first episode that we record, we dated. And then the second episode, we make a reference to having just recorded an episode.
Well, we have to, because they be like, man, didn't they wear that on the other episode? So we have to be like, hey, this is why you see the outfit again. We didn't switch the outfit on you. So now you can be like, okay, I see when they put them two together, or three, or four. You never know how many we shoot.
Had to make sure the camera was still focused in on me from episode to episode. We recorded in my house and I didn't go in my room and change. That's on me, baby.
I didn't think about that.
That is on me.
And I live next door, I won't say I couldn't.
Yeah, I won't gonna say it.
Bring me a little shirt with me. Yeah.
But the content is more important.
Yeah.
Songwriter said content over everything. Songwriter, is flip the script.
Yeah.
It's a whole reference. How you still doing, brother?
I'm doing better now than I was an episode ago. We're doing good.
Technology will space that time out.
Watch me get ahead of the curve. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget that part. We got the camera rolling. We got the timer running. These are little check marks and little boxes we like to check off at the beginning of each episode. So we're ahead of the curve.
Basically, he's throwing shots because that'd be my job.
Yeah.
And I normally notice at the 10-minute mark. Well, I don't even know if it's the 10-minute mark because the timer won't run.
Time not running. We have no clue.
Right now, the time is running, and we are acutely aware of what's going on. So we're gonna get into it, man. This is an episode that I needed at 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably 18 through 23.
Man, just keep it real. 16.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
Because, our parents, a lot of times we try to say things didn't start happening in our lives until it was a respectable time.
Yeah.
But that ain't always the truth. So we're going to keep it real. This episode is about Dear Son, how to date.
Yeah. How to date / how we dated.
Yeah.
Right? And there's some in between, there's some good information. Right? There's some experience, and then there's some good information. But that's funny. When you just said that about the parents, like I never wanted to be like misinterpreted that I didn't have a good dad. Like I never wanted to be misinterpreted. There's just things that we didn't catch at at the right time, right?
Right.
And him and his father didn't catch it at the right time or at all. So it's not always, the limitation isn't always whether or not you have a father.
Right.
A further limitation or a different limitation can be, is that relationship.
Right.
And how communicative you are and what y'all are willing to talk about, what information he really has to give you.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key. Has he realized you need this information yet? You know, because that's the other thing. We as parents, we like to sit back until we see signs in our kids like, whoa, he moving. I need to go talk to him.
Yeah.
I think the boy dating.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late now. He already have his own perspective of this how you go talk to a girl. Oh, son, come here.
See, some of that is part of that apprehensive we were talking about in the last episode, or the last episode we recorded. You had to go find it. But that episode was about what? It was about Am I About to Pop? That's likely the title of it, or at least the working title. But we were talking about different reasons why these stories aren't being transmitted from one generation to the next.
Right.
Absence, apprehension, and apathy. I think from my dad, it was apprehension. Like, how do I, like, we ain't talk about sex.
No, right.
we ain't talk about dating. He knew I was going out with somebody, and I knew there was an age where the answer would be yes, I could, or no, I couldn't.
That's it.
It wasn't defined.
Right.
But I just kind of figured, okay, I got my license. I ain't gonna be rolling around here by myself.
Right.
I probably understand that. But we never had to sit down like, son, this how you do it, son.
This what this looked like, son.
Yeah. And I don't even know. I mean, I don't know if he was a player. I don't know. We never had, well, I can't say he did date one of my mom's friends. And married my mama.
Hey,
so
you know he's gonna watch this, right?
Yeah. No, he said it. They my mom. They're all friends, right?
Okay.
But it was like they came up together in the group, and it was like they were dating. Or I like this person. I don't really like this person no more, right? And then they ended up.
Yeah.
But nah, we never really had about dating, son. let's talk about it.
It's a little different for me. My dad was kind of like a tale of two cities.
Okay.
Like,
it sounds like a movie.
Anybody that know my dad, they're going to think this is hilarious. But the first half of my life, it was more of a sheltered. He like, nope, you're not doing this. Don't do that. There was a PG movie came on TV one day, and my pop saw the people kissing and shut it down. He was like, I don't know what that's heading. Like, it's PG. He was like, that means parental guidance. It means you need our guidance. Stop playing with me, man.
You want me to one up you now or later?
No, later. Hold it. I'm watching ours at my house. But anyway, we off task. Fast forward. Now I'm in the dating world. Totally different dude. This is what you do. This is what you say. And if you do this, you're not going to believe the response you're going to get. I'm like, who's this dude? Who is this? So I got plenty of stories about that. Let's dig into this.
It's gonna go your way. I got to one up you on that because that PG sounded sounded like aggressive. Sounded like you had something there. We didn't have cable until I was 14 or 15.
Oh yeah.
Before that, we didn't have a VCR, right?
Yeah.
Before that, I didn't go to movies growing up because my dad said they preview other movies. They preview other movies. They show preview the stuff. It ain't about the one that you watching. I was like, well, can't we just go late?
Can't take no chances.
Can't go late. I paid for the whole thing. Nah. He ain't say, we never got that far, but it was.
Don't do it.
It's not about just the movie you're going to see. It's the environment and what else they show.
Yeah.
And then when we got a VCR, and you either Blockbuster days, so that's educational. Blockbuster was a place that had cassette videotapes where you would put it in a machine and press play, and it would play from a tape that was spinning at a certain speed, and you get a picture on the TV. Right? Not on your phone.
Because you just messed the whole generation up with that.
But he didn't want to have a VCR at first because of that, because then you could rent the movies, and the movies got previews. and then when we got the VCR, you couldn't do nothing with it. You couldn't do nothing with it because he had to tape his nature shows. tape the nature shows off of Antenna TV.
Mr. Jones, I'm not laughing at you. I
He
promise.
really is.
This dude.
Oh no, it don't matter.
It's your son.
They got every channel now. they got every channel. Like, why do y'all have so many channels? Like, I don't even have this many.
No.
I don't have this many, but that was my life growing up. We just so imagine watching VHS tapes that were recording off antenna signal. That was that was my life at the moment. I digress. Get us back. Pull us back center.
See how this episode about to go.
Yeah. We need these.
So
man.
listen. So son, there are some do's and don'ts in this dating world. Please understand.
Yeah.
Because you're dating this young lady, and depending on how deep this goes, you're dating this young lady's family. Her upbringing, you don't know. You don't know what her morals are. Yeah. Hopefully your morals intact, because I know your daddy.
Know your father.
I know your father, so hopefully I send you out as a good representative of your household.
Yeah.
But seriously, it begins before you even say, hey, we're going somewhere together.
Yeah.
The courtship starts way before that.
Yeah.
As far as you sizing her up, you're looking at her, am I interested in this young lady? Is she interested in me? Do you care? Do you have that level of confidence in yourself where I don't care if she's interested in me or not, I'm interested in her. I'll persuade her into being interested in me. Are you that dude?
Yeah.
Do you move like that? Like, where do you stand on that? Do you have, as a father of your son, because we both have daughters, particularly your sons, your two boys, do you have a preference of how you want your son to be perceived when it comes to approaching a young lady?
Yeah. Respect is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like I never got comfortable with even when I was cursing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I was spinning them.
Yeah.
The B word, I just never, I couldn't, to me, it was like, the one thing I always got was the whoever I picked was a reflection of me.
Right, absolutely.
Not that she went out and represented me, but it represented like what I tolerated. It represented what I thought I was capable of, of locking down or getting their attention. So I never, having a girlfriend that I thought was stupid or I could treat like she's stupid never made sense to me.
Don't add up.
Doesn't say I didn't come across some less than intelligent ones.
Right. Right.
I might have been blinded initially, but like, in matter of fact, honestly, that'd be the thing that turned me off quicker than anything. Like, you could be fine, but 7 out of 10 of them fine, depending on where you go. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I can't, mentally, I'm annoyed. Like, that was my thing. So yeah, I want whatever the story is, I don't want part of it to be your son disrespecting me.
Right, please.
Because I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Anything else, not that anything else is cool. Well, respect covers a lot of stuff. Like, respect is mental, physical, verbally, like all of that. Like, that's not, he gonna get hands put on him.
Listen, I promise. Same. And heightened awareness of, be mindful of, try not to gravitate towards community property.
We're gonna dance. It's gonna be some creative language today.
Please, like community property, thing. like if you pay attention, you already know off the rip. It's not a matter of I'm saying something this young lady likes to hear. It's the fact I'm saying something. That's a no. Qualified. That's a no, son. Don't
qualified. Yeah, don't have a turn. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. We're not by any stretch suggesting that men dictate how that works.
Right.
We're talking about the girls, the women that are absolutely, that's their lifestyle.
Right.
Right. And there's some,
I'm not judging.
there might be some story to that, or that just might be how they, that's how they live. So that's how they get it.
Right.
But be very clear, we're not talking about men are making this decision for women.
And let's be clear, I don't want my son to be community property.
That part.
Because that's equally important.
Mm-hmm.
When I was, probably 14 years old, I have a female cousin who's more like a sister to me.
Mm.
And I remember her telling me, she was like, listen, as you start to date, women see men as community property just as much as men see women as community property.
Mm.
Meaning, women don't want anybody that everybody's been with.
Mm.
And that was a news flash to me. I was like, I kid you not, my reply was, sure they do. And she kind of looked at me in disgust.
That's why I'm doing it.
Like,
get my resume.
What are you talking about? Not that I was doing it at the time. I was 13, 14. But that was a news flash to me. But I'm glad she told me that, because I adjusted after that.
Mm.
I truly did, because I never wanted to be the person that the women in my family were ashamed of or disgusted by.
Hmm.
I'm thankful I had such a relationship with my mom and my aunts, and just really a lot of upstanding women in my life that really, really, really never heard me curse to this day. Never heard a foul word come out of my mouth. I'm proud of that, because I can let them fly.
That's how I majored in.
Yeah. But for the dating side, I would like for my son to be very, very, very cognizant of if you were doing this in front of your mom. And don't get me wrong, don't tarnish or taint this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to be a saint. Be respectful,
Mm-hmm.
like you said. Be mindful of this somebody's daughter, this somebody's sister. Don't play with this young lady's heart. Don't play with this young lady's mind.
Yeah.
If it's not for you, it's not for you. Let it go.
Yeah, and that's I think that's a benefit for my sons. They have older sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So of course my youngest son will have older sisters, but we had girl, boy. So they're bunched. Like, my oldest son and my second oldest daughter are in school together.
Right.
So there's she has friends, he has, like, they're going through that phase of life at the same time where they can kind of get perspective.
Yep.
I'm not saying they be hooking each other up with stuff, but like, there's a close connection of what a girl in his age range will consider attractive or turn off or things like that. And, that's also banking on the fact that my daughters are raised respectfully, right? And respect men and respect themselves and things of that nature. But I want my son to have standards.
Yes.
Right. Don't just be happy for the first thing that responds.
Please.
Anything with a heartbeat.
Please
you own
don't
it
do that.
In any capacity.
Right.
But turn them down. Not turn down for the sake of embarrassment or, making them feel some kind of way, but be clear about what's not for you.
Correct.
What's not for you, especially in your pursuit. Right. And I think that's a very difficult thing to teach, because at some age, some phase of life, certain things just matter more than how respectable they are, where they're going in life. Like, just physical attraction takes over at some point. At least that's my lived experience, right?
Yeah.
Where you start to discount.
Yeah.
Can't really hold the conversation, but
So what are we doing?
Yeah, but them jeans though. Like, it's that type of thing. I want him to, and I can't. I'm not naive enough to think that he'll never be in that scenario, or where looks will never be a more important thing at a moment, at least. But at least have some sense of, you're not my type.
And exclusivity goes a long way. It pay off later.
Yeah.
More so than right now. Because right now you're just happy to be in the game, coach.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm fearful of making sure, and what I mean by fearful, you'll get it after I say it. I want to make certain that I convey the difference in the fine line between chivalry and being Duck Davis.
Suckery.
Suckery. Yeah. Suckery.
Coin that here.
Yeah. So, yes, you have to be the nice guy to an extent. Because I know a lot of people gonna be mad, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate today a little bit. Especially in that early age group. Nice guys finish last, man. They play with them. They play with the nice, respectable guys. You can be the perfect gentleman, and you can make sure you open her doors, and you do this, and you do this. And as soon as you open the door and let her in, she running in to go talk to
the world.
Willie Ray. Yeah.
The world.
The world. Because now they have these phones.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, posting the account of all of that.
Don't be a savage, but don't be Mr. Prince Charming.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for that later.
Mm-hmm.
Shift more into that when it's appreciated. And that's adulthood.
Mm.
A young man and a young lady, they're not ready for that. And it looks good, but at the same time, me personally, and I'm not trying to just project myself onto my son.
Right.
I would like that you lean more towards being in the middle, or even if you can't be perfectly in the middle, lean more towards the savagery side than the pushover side. I just don't want you to be the pushover. It just go bad, man. This will change this whole conversation.
Yeah. But sucker for love is a part of life.
Ooh.
Because I don't know how you teach that without I don't know how you teach that experience.
You can't.
Either I think it's the two extremes. Either they got to go through it and figure it out, or they never get to it because they so guarded. Because I don't want that either.
I'd rather you get it.
Yeah.
And get that hurt.
Yeah.
Get that hurt early.
Don't keep going back to that same well.
Right.
And wonder why you're poison. Dear son, watch how her mom interacts too, because that's probably where she headed.
Well, they gonna be comment box gonna be.
That's probably where she headed. And I'm not saying, because we talk negative generational cycles broken.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
Double standards, right? And we'll see how this pans out, but it's not even a double standard.
I got that.
This is the apple typically don't fall very far from its tree. It typically don't. So even that's true of me, right?
Uh-huh.
So of my character, and what ultimately my son goes and shows the world. But if you know at your young age that her mama ain't right, let's regroup.
Please.
Let's regroup, because that's one you can't fix.
And I'll even do some of my friends a favor, because I know they jumping and high-fiving and tagging each other as they'll be watching this episode. I've heard men go so far as to say, pay attention to the on that note, the environment of the family, though.
Yeah.
Meaning a long line of
at the cookout.
Don't hold me accountable for this. I didn't create it.
Pay attention at the cookout.
A bunch of man bashers, like a bunch of single aunties and everybody, and it's 50 women at the cookout. Nobody have a healthy relationship anywhere. So it's hard.
Not one.
And this sounds judgmental, and I'm not judging, but just there's something being fed down that pipeline. And hopefully you found the one that's about to break the cycle if that's what you got going on.
Yeah.
But more often than not, excuse me, by the time you see an event filled with a bloodline that tends to move this way, they've done everything in their power to kind of give some of those traits to this young lady.
Because they just looking out.
They just looking out.
They just looking out. Because that might be, there's something to that, because if it's a family, and they're demonstrating, they're talking about similar results, they may have had similar characteristics. which wouldn't be too far-fetched. We talking about a pair of sisters. A pair of sisters that the tree didn't came from.
Right.
It might,
Right.
I started with the mother because I know you made a reference to marrying the family. And I think that's a whole episode.
That's an episode in itself, I promise.
And again, we're not saying leave the cookout and never go back, but maybe that's a right now friend.
Or it helps you deepen your perspective of the types of conversations
correct
you need to have with this young lady.
Yeah.
Because by no means are we suggesting you judge this young lady.
Right.
But absolutely let it heighten your awareness. Because we're kind of right. We joking a lot and being light with this topic. So I hope nobody's taking offense to some of the things. We're not attacking women. We're not saying women are this. Yeah. I understand women are a product of their environment, because a lot of female friends that I have are going to absolutely call me and say, well, what about the deadbeat men that left them in that situation? I get it.
Yeah.
Them too.
Them
absolutely.
Too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's even more on brand with what this platform is to not have those coming as products from from us, number one, and then those that we can reach. But no, it definitely goes both ways. But we can't be, and that's again, like it's like the stereotype or the assumption is always in favor of one versus the other. Pick a category.
Right.
Women are more likely to, men are more likely to, this or that. We're just saying be aware.
Just be aware.
Be aware.
We're throwing pebbles in the pond. We're just trying to create some ripples.
The ripples is rippling.
Y'all see how them country boy colloquialisms I be dropping?
Boy, that butter knife one still got me.
Listen.
I saw somebody repost and said #no butter knives. I said, boy. He said, I don't want no butter knives.
Listen, no butter knives round me.
What else is important? I do want, you talked about being chivalrous and all of that. That is important to me.
Yes.
And I want him to, well, I'll take it to the adjacent concern is be aware of how she reacts to that.
Oof.
Like, does she know how to accept that?
Right.
Right. Or has she been so trained to not need anything that anything being done for her either suggests a motive or she just doesn't want it. She rejects it.
Don't know how to receive it. Don't know how to be loved. Don't know how to be cared for.
I think that is a major red flag. And it's not that, again, that she can't grow to know and understand that, but you got to understand what you're dealing with, because that can be frustrating.
Yes.
If my son knows that respect, and he runs into somebody that he's interested in that doesn't value the fact that he respects her.
Right.
Not even aware of it.
Right.
Or if it's so weird to her that it's off-putting, and she's no, I don't need you to do that. I don't need you to. Okay.
Right.
All right, son.
Yeah.
All right.
Be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Find your identity. Like, that's my biggest thing is, to this day, I hear adults in the single world, obviously, talk about what they're coming across. Meaning,
pee in the pool.
Man, they say in the dating world right now, people are seeing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And based on conversations I've had with men and women, it's a common problem. And you know what it is? Everybody put their identity to the side and they started rolling with the times. This is the trend. This is the new norm. For instance, let's say, some women are suggesting that because so many other women are making themselves so accessible and so easy to these men, that when they see a woman who's like, no, you can't have that level of access to me, they're done. On to the next. These women out here jumping out of cars to talk to me, and you think I'm supposed to court you and date you. Don't let that discourage you as a woman to fall off of that. Hold fast to your morals. Yeah. Because eventually, if you start to set that tone and that standard, it'll make its way back. Same thing with the men. If your fathers have taught you to be respectful and honorable and move a certain way with women that's not degrading to them, don't fall into the fact that you may have come across some of your little friends or your homeboys and you see them popping off at the mouth, saying some real disrespectful stuff to these women that you don't agree with in your heart of hearts, don't conform to that.
Yeah.
That's what'll kill me, man. If I find out my son on some stuff that not only he wouldn't do, but he hasn't seen it.
Right.
You didn't see me treat your mom or any of your female relatives like that. Don't disrespect yourself like that. Find out who you are, whatever your identity is, which that's early in life, and you're going to shift and you're going to change, but you're not going to start off being this godly young man and then you're a savage and you're just running through every woman you can get your hands on. Don't do that either.
Yeah, because that never happens.
Here we go.
that never happens.
Please no.
Not in this family.
Please no.
It's limited reach on this podcast anyway. It's not gonna go anywhere. What's another day? There's dating is not like a rap song at all. It's just not. It isn't.
Let me sit up in my chair for this one.
It just isn't.
It's just not.
Yeah. Even if it happened like that for them, it probably happened like for them after they became famous.
Right.
Not that they made it right then. But that's just not. That's not it. It really ain't. It really ain't. And at some point, yeah, it really, I was gonna say, be more choice with my words. Don't take advantage of a phase that she's in just because she's in that phase.
Boy.
Because I gotta imagine it is difficult to see how, and I'm talking about young girls on par with age appropriate, 16 and 16, 17. I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about men being predators.
Right. No.
But to see how, how popularity changes a young girl's opinion and what they're open to or willing to do.
Right. And
I have daughters. I have daughters first.
Right.
Oh yeah. The men are thoughts now. I almost said two. I'm just taking ownership. The men are thoughts.
And peer pressure. Right. Peer pressure. Don't succumb to peer pressure.
Yeah.
I promise you, I don't care who your son is. I promise you, he's gonna come across at least one, if not 50. At least one young man in his peer group or a year or two older, especially in high school, that's going to make him think that if he's not absolutely moving like this with the young ladies, he a lame-o, he a simp, he trash, he's XYZ. And again, we talked about this. We have to acknowledge that's their whole world right now. It's easy for us to sit down. We're on the other side of that mountain.
Other side, come on up.
Right. So it's easy for us to give that advice. And don't worry about it, son. She's going to be there when you get to college. Well, Dad, I'm not in college right now. I'm in high school right now. And I like her. She looking at this cat because he told her he with the XYZ. And I told her I'm not. So guess who she with now? What you want me to do about that? So we have to be realistic. So we want these things. It may not pan out. But at least try to give him this foundation so that if he's stray, he got something to rebound
depart from it.
Yeah.
There's something to that.
Yeah.
Something to that. I would, one thing that clicked for me early with peer pressure, I'm like, how does my action satisfy you? Hey, why you pushing me under the covers with like, what do you get out of that?
What you get out of it, right?
Never really understood. Never really understood that.
Wanted to validate what I got going on. If everybody doing it, then it's all the more
then that is
acceptable.
That is, dear son. Don't be messy, bro. Don't be messy. Don't be trying to run through crews. Don't you contribute to any fallouts between them because now they got you in common.
Right.
That's that's a recipe for, and I get it. There's an allure to that.
Right.
Because there's this whole conquer mentality that has been passed down from however many generations of record we have.
For the Huns. Here's the other thing. I'm glad you said that.
Before written history.
Right. I'm glad you said that. On that same note about being messy, listen, dear son, if you and this young lady have a conversation, the things that you and this young lady discuss, that's not for the world.
It is not.
Stop telling everybody what you and one person talked about.
Yeah.
That's the quickest way to find yourself on the outside looking in.
On the outside looking in.
That is called proprietary information. I don't tell everybody this, but something about you that I said you special enough to hear this.
Yeah.
As far as you're concerned, this don't exist outside of what I just said to you. I know I said it. You know I said it. You ever repeat this, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Somebody give you that disclaimer. Son, don't be messy, man. Don't ruin that. Because once that reputation get out, that anything go in your ear, come out of your mouth, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, and I don't know that there's a distinction between that characteristic in men and women, let alone boys and girls now. It seems like we have to, like the old saying, money burning a hole in my pocket. I gotta spend it. Information burning a hole in my ear. I got to give this to somebody. Got to hear this secret.
You about to hear this.
Got to hear this secret.
Speaking of money burning a hole in my pocket.
Oh, go there. Go there.
Dear son. Don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
It's tricking. We're not leaving with our pocket. I don't care. I don't care what you thought.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it just goes further if you got it.
Just no.
Having it or not having it is not a condition of whether it's not tricking.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And if we need a smoother word, we'll adjust this later. But no, sir.
No.
We running with the tricking.
No.
Don't buy this young lady. Don't pay your way. Young ladies, don't pay your way on this man. Don't do it. Please.
No.
All of this.
And I don't even know, like, I wish I had a conversation about when that's appropriate. Like, at what stage, or how do you know when the whole taking care of a woman that allows it, because you got to say that, that shares the same principle in terms of being provided for. Because you can't, I don't know, you say take care of a woman, or you, I don't know, buy him something might be offensive now, because how you buy me something? In jest, kind of, but that really scares me, because I don't even know how to advise on that part. Like, I was already committed before that wave, or I just missed it.
I'm gonna hit him with some Neanderthal, unrealistic guideline that he gonna be like, that's too far.
Yeah.
I'd rather tell you too long than too short.
Mm-hmm.
So if I tell you, hey, wait till you have your own bills, your own income, you've already figured out she's a contributor. I can go on and on and on. There's
something to that, because once you created all of those life commitments, then you really see what you're working with.
Reciprocity.
I'm not talking about what's left in your check.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking from a practical,
right?
From a practical sense, you get out here, you start these expensive habits while you're living at home. You get out of the house, you don't even understand life.
What you're not going to do. what
you're
you're
not going to do.
And
not rent.
You're not tricking on my money.
Right. Oh, oof. That won't even a consideration.
Meaning,
what you going to get from me, if she considers that, then you got a whole nother problem.
No, I mean, if you're living in my house, and you're talking about you now have disposable income, you don't.
You do not.
You don't.
Yeah.
That's not disposable income at all.
You bypass it.
Yeah.
You reallocated what's due due for your living expense.
No.
Nah, that's so I have daughters in the house.
Yeah.
And one double standard I stand firmly on is the age of dating. And that's
let's go there.
I'll blame my parents for that, because that won't even my curfew was later than my sister when she was in college.
They're gonna get you.
That's fine.
This.
She married now. She got kids. She got her own house.
What is your daughter curfew number versus what a son's curfew number would be for you? What you got?
At what age?
Oh,
that's the difference. Like,
let's do. That's what I mean. Like, let's say 17.
So based on my experience,
yeah,
my son's curfew would be 2:30. My daughter's curfew would be 12.
God, that's 17.
I'm saying that's how it happened.
Yeah,
because that's how it, and it was one of them slippery slopes where skating rink ran from 10 to 2, something like that.
They gonna get you in these.
One of the people that my parents knew, like from church, like big brother, was a ref at the skating rink, so he could vouch for that. It was 10 to 2.
Right.
It's controlled. So by 2:00, they knew I had the car first. Well, me and another one of my partners were the main drivers.
Right.
So I'm dropping everybody off. I should be home by 2:30. What that translated to me was be home by 2:30 in any scenario.
In any scenario. Well, I'm dropping somebody off or not.
Whether I'm going to the skating rink or not.
That's it. This is my
skating
number.
rink was just a reference point of what's acceptable.
I would buy that at 9.
My sister would come home from college and it's like, what? Like, how you cut it 12:30? What you? what we doing? And especially when she was 17, I know for a fact she won't out.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
nah.
I jokingly tell people I'm the double standard king. Like,
and that's something I cling to. Principle based.
I don't care. I absolutely have. And I know this is probably bad. Y'all pray for me. Y'all call me, counsel me. I'm not a counselor.
Counsel, not cancel.
Right, not cancel. Counsel. So that's the whole thing we talk about. We're not trained professionals. We're not counselors. We haven't been educated in these areas. This is off the cuff. This is how I feel. So when men talk about how they feel, this is what you get.
Moment in time.
So, yeah, there's a certain amount of things that I see okay with a young man doing. And a young lady at that exact same age, not so much. Not so much. The whole curfew thing, like, it would frustrate me to know that my 16, 17-year-old daughter was out at 2:30 in the morning.
Doing what?
What? There's nothing you can tell.
Yeah.
Y'all could have had a lock-in at the church. I'm shutting it down. Well, tell them you're leaving because I got to come get you. You're not staying there. You're not staying. But my son, we can at least have a conversation about it. Hey, I'm leery.
Why you out there? Just why you out there, son? Just make sure you
right.
Make sure you.
I'm leery, right? But let's have a conversation. My daughter, what we talking about?
Yeah, that's such a contradiction because we want our son to be looking for the daughters that have rules like our daughters, but we want them to be out at the time when the other daughter's out.
Sad, ain't it? And
life, man, you got it. Sometimes experience is the best teacher.
And look, this probably an area we need help with. Yeah, told y'all, airing out my dirty laundry.
Be great to have a woman's perspective of what is acceptable. Like how y'all train your daughters,
please.
And I'm talking about, like, I know what's happening in my house. You know what's happening in your house,
right?
But a perspective that is not ours or ours in terms of a managed household. I'm interested in. Like what? Because as we said, as we discussed all cam, I think we're part of that generation that's seeing so much shift from whether it was like a disciplined upbringing to now you're having more leniency and flexibility.
True.
From working hard to working smart and having conveniences.
True again.
To to the age of social media, from like I just talking from antenna TVs to watching on your phone. so we get that we got the whole spectrum, but our kids do not. And it's now the daughters that they could be pursuing could be from a different generation.
Oh.
I'm 43. My son could be interested in a girl whose mom is 30, 35, 32. Like that's different.
That's different. That's a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
That's different. So like I'm saying, like how are y'all raising
your kids
them now? Right. Like what is the or rearing. Do y'all say raising? Some people have problems with raising.
Can we get 4 or 5 women to get in the comments and contribute to this conversation? We'll do a Zoom call.
Right. Let's figure this out.
I got some questions.
Let's figure this out because I don't know. Like it's hard to parent from a generation. It seems like there were 2 generations between me and my kids.
Right.
Like because everything's moving so fast, trends.
If not 3. If not 3. Because right now, the things that these kids are exposed to, thank you, Lord, I could not have. I didn't have the self-control. I didn't have the self-control for the level of freedom. And that could play a big part. See how I'm solving this right in front of real time?
Rubik's
That
Cube.
could play a big part in me saying, I have XYZ going on that I don't want to be dealing with my daughter with her staying out later. So if I say, no, we're not doing that, or no, we can't do that, maybe it's an experience I had that's like, you're not doing what I did. Nope.
Yeah. Well, as y'all might have noticed, the light in the background just went out and said curfew is upon us.
Street lights.
Which is a very convenient segue into wrapping this one up. But this conversation is not done.
No.
No. Man, I got more questions that need answers.
I do too.
Need more dialogue.
And don't judge us. Just contribute. Don't judge.
Well, I send my son out here in this world so cold. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe, man. Shout out to all of our Africa constituents. Know who you is. Somebody chime in and tell us what Tanzania or Tanzania. I would love to have an episode on that. How do you actually say it and why your neighboring countries don't know?
I got family in Cameroon.
But that's a little bit left.
Yeah, so
Cameroon.
So,
Yaoundé, I think, is the capital, I believe, something like that. Cameroon.
Yeah. So we'll chime in.
And don't butch me if I said that name wrong. What else we got, man? I think we open this up a little bit, yeah.
Let's maintain this pace, keep pushing. It's being received well, and I like it. I'm enjoying it. You've expressed you're enjoying it. The audience is enjoying it. The feedback is positive. It's great. It's growing.
Absolutely.
It's growing. Ooh, it's growing. Y'all don't see the back end of this, but this is growing. So,
yeah, and it's hard to there's no one place to look to understand how it's growing.
Right.
Because some episodes resonate more on Facebook. Yeah. Some content resonates more on IG. TikTok, we was talking about before, TikTok, love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I post and look at it. Nobody looked at it. If I post and ghost, enough people have looked at it and started conversations.
Right.
But the intent is the same. We're not doing it for the views. We're doing it to
get the information.
Yeah. It's therapeutic for us, for one, if you hadn't figured that out.
Yeah.
But also we know that it's helping people, so we will continue in that vein.
And I want to appreciate the women.
For sure.
A lot of women are reaching out, and it's provide. I didn't even think of it like this. I thought I solely was focused on the men falling short. A lot of women are saying it's helping their husbands, their sons, their brothers. It's giving them some insight on how to approach their sons. Thank you for that. Thank y'all for that. It means a lot.
Yeah. And
that's just kind of motivates us to be like, okay, well, let's look at it at this perspective and give somebody something. So I appreciate that.
Funny you said that. One of the comments that I saw that caught my attention either today or yesterday was from a post from last year.
Wow.
It just came across somebody's feed, and there was a woman saying, thank you for that. That changed my perspective how to deal with my sons or my children.
You're doing the work.
We speak in a specific tone because part of what is taught in having an audience is to speak to a specific type of person.
Right.
Consistently. It doesn't mean that the information is only for that person.
Right.
And then when you stay consistent with your message, the collateral benefit of those that are watching from the periphery start to appreciate it too. And they're like, I had women say, I initially didn't listen to your podcast because it said dear son. I was like, well, you birthed the son.
Right.
I didn't say that, but like that was kind of the thought process in my head. But I guess because it's a very a masculine tone, where it clearly sounds like a father and son, which it was based on, but this is parenting.
Parenting 101.
We're all linked. we didn't get here without the woman.
No.
Woman didn't get here without a man somehow.
No.
Like how we manage those relationships after birth, that's where it gets a little tricky.
Right.
But yeah, appreciate you guys. God bless you. Peace.
They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just pull it out and count for nothing when I'm feeling great. Give my baby little more just to spend it, and I'm